So I've had issues connecting and live streaming today with our science camp. So I'm really surprised that I've managed to do it on YouTube. So welcome to Learn with Sid. This is going to be an art lesson today, session 26. So sessions are live every day at 3:30 unless I'm having some technical issues, and I've had a few over the last few weeks. Now this week there's going to be no sessions on Thursday and Friday because I'm taking an Easter break. And then I'll be back again on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so we've got a session today, we've got a session tomorrow, and Thursday and Friday I am off, and then I'm back again on Saturday, and hopefully then we'll be continuing live every single day unless I've got an issue. Okay, so if you're tuning in live, I'm going to have a look at who is watching. I can give you guys a shout out. So let me know if you are watching. Let me know if you're regular. Let me know if you're new to this and you have started watching for the first time. We've got a couple of people signed in already. Brilliant. Hi, guys. So today we're going to be looking at how we can create amazing looking branches. So a couple of things that you'll be needing for today is some paper. Now I've got my sketchbook because the paper is slightly thicker, but you could try this with any paper and see the type of effect that you get. Next, what you need is some watercolors. So here I've got myself some watercolors, but any sort of paints will work for this. If you've got watercolors like I've got, brilliant. You might have some different types of watercolors. Have a go and see what you can create. Okay, and remember, if you can submit your work in by 6 o'clock to me, either on Facebook or on my email address. My email address is going to be in the description. If it's not on this video yet, then you can look at the descriptions of the other videos. You can send them in, and I'll put it into a kid's submission video so you can see your work and everyone else's work. So I'm looking forward to seeing your work. Right, you're also going to need a water pot with some paintbrushes. Now my water pot is a beaker because I'm a scientist, and we need a marker pen, a fine line marker, hopefully something which is water resistant. So mine is water resistant here. If you don't have a water resistant pen, then you'll have to do things in a slightly different order, and I'll show you how. Okay, so we've got Hannah and Amana watching again. Brilliant. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Right, I'm going to share with you my screen so you can see what I'm going to be looking at. Right, let's get started then. Okay, so today's session 26 on Learn with Sid, looking at branches. Right, so you can see now my desk, hopefully, and I've got my pad ready here. Now, if you're using a water-resistant fine liner pen, then you start off with your pen drawing first. So we're going to create some branches. Now, I used to love doing this as a kid because you can go a bit crazy with the spirals. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to draw, first of all, let's do some tree trunks first. I'm going to draw. Now, look, I've deliberately not drawn this completely straight. Okay, so you need a bit of, a little bit of like, what should we call these? A little bit of waves in the sides of the trunks there. Okay, now what we're going to do is to make it look more like a tree. And this is really cool. So if you've got a water resistant pen, then you start with this first. If you don't, lightly do this in pencil. Okay, and then come back to it with your pen later after it's dry. So Musa is watching. Thank you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what your finished pieces are going to look like today. So what we're going to do now is to create a circle here. And we're going to color that circle in black, like a little elliptical circle, an oval. Okay, and this is going to be like the holes in our trees. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to create a bigger circle, but I'm not going to color this one in, and I'm just going to create a little spiral there. So where there was a little bump, I've created that there, and I might do another one over here, and they don't have to be the exact size. And look, they're deliberately not circular, so I've done them in like little ragged lines. I'm going to do another one over here. This is going to be even bigger, and then I might actually do a little hole again over here. Okay, now what you do when you're creating tree trunks is that you do straight lines, but when you get to one of these spirals, one of the holes, you you go around it. So I'm going to go closer a bit so you can see this better. Let's see, is that better? Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go around this one over here. When I get to about here, I'm going to go around that one over there, and around that one there. So that's my first line. And you keep doing that. So we do another one over here. We go around there, over there. This time it's going to go around this way. I'm going to do, ooh. Now sometimes when you've done these holes, you will create little spirals going around those holes as well. Okay, so on this side now, I'm going to go around this way. It gets cut off on the edges there. It's going to come around this way. We're going to go around. Going to go, ooh, what am I going to do there now? So it's going to go really tiny, and it's going to go that way. Okay, so I am creating these lines, and you make it look like the lines are going all the way around the tree trunk. And if you can't reach the other side of your spiral, you can just stop there. So that can stop there. Now this is going to go down here. I'm going to make that look like it's going around. And then when we're going to come up here now, I'm going to draw one going around here and here. And then I'm going to fill these up with what looks like little islands. So this is going to get filled up by a spiral. This is going to get filled up by lines over here, and I've got a little bit gap there. So I'm just going to create little circles there. I'm going to create little circles here. Okay, so it looks like a pattern. Now you could go crazy. You could do all sorts of spirals and things in there and make it look like a tree trunk. Now at the moment, it just looks like a pattern. It looks like a cool pattern, but it'll create like an abstract looking tree, and it's going to look really cool. Now I want to have some branches coming out of here. Okay, so this branch is going to be behind that tree trunk. So it's coming out from behind. And watch how I've done that. So this, I'm going to be drawing like that. Okay, so can you see I've not actually joined up these ends? This one's a bit longer. Then we'll do the exact same thing. So I'm going to create some spirals. And here I'm going to create a spiral there. I'm going to do a little circle there. I'm going to create some spirals. And you can go a bit crazy. So you can see they don't have to even be straight. These ones aren't straight. So you can go a bit crazy with this, and it's great to go freehand. You don't have to worry about straight lines, and you create shapes like that. Okay, so if you've done it in pen, brilliant. Your water resistant pen will resist the paint that we're going to apply. If you've done it in pencil, you're going to apply the paint, and then you can use your marker pen to go over it, or your black felt tip to go over it. Now, if this isn't water resistant, the black's going to leak. So I'm going to show you what happens. So this is not water resistant. This is just a felt tip pen. Okay, so let me do one over here. You can practice, you can experiment, see what happens. So we'll do one over here with this pen, or this felt tip pen, and I'm going to show you what happens when, so I've done like little spirals over here. What's going to happen when we apply the paint. Okay, so I'm going to grab now my paint. Now I want to get some browns. So you normally come with some browns already. So I've got 2 browns over here, but it's nice to create some colors yourself. So I'm going to use my paintbrush, take off the excess water on the side of your dish. Now what I'm going to do now is to make some brown. Now to make brown, you need red. So I've got some red. Okay, you're going to need a bit of yellow. So I've got some yellow, and you're going to need some blue. So you mix the 3 primary colors together, and you start to get this brown kind of color. Now I'm just showing you what it looks like here, but you could just mix them directly and then go directly on there. Okay, so what I want to do, because it's watercolor, I want the water, I want the paint to be quite thin. So when you go over it, you get to see the pen marks underneath. Now you want your paintbrush to be fairly dry as well. You don't want too much water because it's just going to ruin your drawing. And it's nice when it comes out dark in some areas and light in other areas. Right, I'm going to add a bit of water, Let's add a bit of blue, a bit of red again, a bit of yellow again. We're going to go try and keep in the lines as much as possible. I've just gone over that line. And spread the colour to as many areas as you can. And it's starting to look a lot like a tree trunk there. Like a very abstract looking tree. It looks cool. And the variations in color, because you have created that brown rather than just using a block of brown, you'll get this variation in tones, which is quite nice. Now, in some areas, you might want to make it more yellowy. So I'm going to just get some yellow color. And I'm just going to go over some areas in yellow. Okay, so I've got a different shade over here. Corner out of the line again. Okay, so I've got some colors there. Right, what we're going to do on this one, let's see what happens if we apply it on something that's not watercolor, not water resistant. So with this one, look, the color runs. So you'll know very quickly whether your pen is water resistant or not, okay? So this isn't good for doing tree trunks, but if you want to create an image which is gray, or different shades of grey, it's great to use a pen that runs, but we don't want it to run in this particular case. Now, if you've done it in pencil, let's do a pencil version. So we're going to do a quick pencil version over here. So those guys who have done it in pencil, you will be going over your paint first, and then, so that was really rough over here. Let's do our paint first on here, and then we're going to leave it to dry. Now my paintbrush has got some brown on there. I want some red and some yellow. Okay, so you guys will be doing this if you've done a pencil version. Then you leave for it to dry, and then you go over it in your pen or your felt tip pen. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to do the same thing with that same felt tip and see how it looks like. Okay, so practice doing this using lots of different patterns within the tree trunk and see what you guys can create. Now, if you want to make it even more exciting, get an actual branch. Get a branch from your garden and look at the pattern that you've got. Okay, we often draw trees without these patterns in because we don't look at them carefully enough. So have a go at practicing. So I'm going to draw another tree trunk and see what happens. Let's draw one over here. Trees are really cool to draw. And I'm going to color in a black hole over here. And you could keep the pen really loose. You could try it with your left hand, so then it actually does deliberately create lines that aren't straight. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to cross these lines over. So if you've seen, I don't cross any lines over. They always are slightly further away. I want to draw. Okay, so I've done another one over here. Now let's see what happens if we use our blocks of color instead. So here we've got browns already here. So this brown will give us a completely different effect. Now the way that you can change the tone of this brown is to add more water or less paint. So this is less paint. This is more paint over here. You can still create the tones, so you don't even have to create your own brown. Okay, so you can do that as well. Is that dry? That's dry now. So let's go over with that. We've got Sarah's watching. Is this your first time, Sarah? So even if you don't have a water resistant pen, so this is the same pen that I did over here, you can still create these cool looking branches by going over your painting in your black felt tip pen. And when I was a kid, I used to love drawing trees because I could draw these patterns in them. Okay, so have lots of fun creating some tree trunks. And if you want to, you could add some leaves and stuff. But today's session is on tree trunks. Now remember to write your name. So we've got more tree branches. And you're going to have hashtag Art with Sid. art with Sid. So what your tree trunks are going to look like and what kind of patterns and fun that you have in creating them. Okay, so the couple of things that you need to notice is you do your spirals. In your tree, you create little holes. You don't ever make the lines go over each other. We're not creating a grid here. Okay, so the lines don't ever go over each other. When you reach a spiral, you go around it, or you can just stop. And to create branches which look like they're coming from each other, you just don't connect. So when I drew that, how did I draw that? I drew that, and then I continued the branch over there. So you don't interconnect those parts. Like you don't draw that like this, which is what the mistake a lot of people will make. And it makes such a huge difference just having the overlap line there, because it makes it look like it's starting from the front of the tree rather than just randomly starting in the same place all the time. So it's just little tricks that you can use to create some tree trunks. Now I've done a really basic one here. You can go really extravagant, have a go. This is my test page. Okay, so artists will always have like a test page. They will do lots of little samples and then they'll do their final piece. So you guys can have a go at doing a final piece as well as doing a test page. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your designs are. Tomorrow, we're going back to maths. So Wednesday, it's going to be maths. At 3:30 tomorrow. I don't know what topic to do, so if you've got any ideas of topics, let me know. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm taking a break for Easter, and then I'm back again on Saturday. Okay, so daily lives at 3:30, except for this Thursday and Friday. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Bye, guys.